This is part 2 of today's tip, and I had finished grafting this. And notice that this end looks pretty good. It's pretty even and matches up pretty well. But over here I've got this oversized yarn. Now, a point that you may want to consider is always using a separate strand of yarn, not your yarn tail, as I did in this case. Because when I'm cleaning it up, that means I've got to clean from this direction to my yarn tail, because this is connected over here. And that is a thought. I did this quite intentionally so I could demonstrate that for you. Also, if I'm doing this in real life, I am going to graft a few stitches and then I'm going to clean up. Graft a few stitches and then clean up. It's much easier than trying to do this all at the end. And that loose stitch is this yarn tail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to locate my first big stitch, and this is where stitch anatomy really pays, and I'm just going to pull that yarn tight and I'm going to follow it through. There it is. Now here's where you need to know your stitch anatomy. I need to find that yarn. Okay, in some cases it's going to look like a kind of a knit stitch, in some places it's going to look kind of like a purl stitch. I'm going to pull it. And you want to try and match, and by the way, this is all due to that oversized stitch is my yarn tail. I'm going to come back and mess with that in a little bit. You're going to try and match the tension of the existing stitches. And, oops, going in the wrong place again. Just continue to pull those through. You can see I'm actually getting quite a bit of yarn here. So on top, it's the purl bump. In the bottom, it's kind of like a knit between those two. It's actually the space between the two stitches. And I'm just going to continue doing that until I get it looking the way I want. Now you can see that I've got pretty much the same amount of space, and when I do a little bit of cleanup here with my yarn tails, it's going to look just perfect. To see the final product, go to my blog for this date, and I have a photo of this, and then I also have a photo of what happens, how it looks if you pull too tight.